Hello, friends, and happy Tuesday. If you're joining me on the replay, happy replay day to you as well. And welcome back from the weekend. I hope you had a nice week here. We're live today, and I'm excited to welcome you to today's live level up conversation.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market updates. Award-winning financial pro. Get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hello, friends. I'm Winnie Sun, your host, Forbes contributor, CNBC Council member, and award winning financial pro, here to keep you on top of all things trending, relevant business news. But what makes this show so special is that you're part of today's discussion. So don't be shy wherever you're joining me from. I know we're on multiple social media platforms. Let me know how you're doing, and of course, what city you're joining from, and how you're feeling from coming back from the weekend. Now, before we jump in, we always like to start with just talking about how the market closed today. But before I even do that, of course, I gotta say hello to some of my friends. I see Joshua CrossX Fighter joining us from YouTube Live. It's great to see you. Wow, many people on LinkedIn Live today as well. It's wonderful to have you all with us. Don't be shy. Let us know. Come and say hello. Now, here's how the market closed. The Dow closed up 36 points, which actually was sort of surprising given just how negative the market was throughout the day. And there was periods when actually it was up even more. But Dow closed up 36 points, NASDAQ down 115, almost 116 points today. S&P 500 down 23 points as well. So the S&P closed lower. Now this is, as you know, now is a 5-day losing streak. Now we are looking at this week, and there's some data that's expected to come either Wednesday, Thursday, where we're going to hear about some key inflation data, because this data is critical, maybe not for you immediately, but why it's important, why you should be paying attention to it, is because the Federal Reserve is going to be looking at the data coming out this week and deciding how much they're going to continue to increase interest rates going forward. Is it going to be just as aggressive as what we've seen in the last rate hike, or is it going to be more muted? So we're going to see Wednesday, we're going to see the producer price report that's supposed to be released. And then, of course, on Friday, we're going to see the retail sales, which will give is more indication of how people are shopping and people are still buying things as normal. You may have heard or read in the news also, as we're going into the holiday season, there's a lot of retailers out there that actually have an increase of inventory. If you remember, during many years of the pandemic, that there was supply chain issues, and a lot of companies and brands and retailers weren't able to get the supplies that they needed to be able to sell things to you and I. Well, that certainly changed. And what's interesting is consumers haven't leaped back and purchased a lot of items. So a lot of companies, and this includes companies such as Target and Nike and whatnot, actually have increased inventory. So we'll see how that trickles down for as we go into the end of the year during holiday season. But one report that I actually shared on Twitter earlier today, and this came from my friends at CNBC, talked about JP Morgan Chase's CEO, Jamie Dimon. Now, my joke, of course, financial joke, was that here is someone you don't want to invite to your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, this is Jamie Dimon, and I'm joking, but of course, yeah, I don't think this is going to make great Thanksgiving over the turkey conversation. But Jamie Dimon is saying that, in fact, he does feel that the economy, there's some optimism right now. It's looking not that bad, but in the next 6 to 9 months, he anticipates that things are going to get a whole lot worse. In fact, he's saying that the United States here is likely to go into a recession in the next 6 to 9 months. And I don't know about you, but at least everyone I've been speaking to and everyone that I consult with pretty much just feels like the recession is already here. They already feel like in a financial world, and the price of goods are so incredibly high. Their budgets have been stretched, pretty tight these days, that they feel like, even though if it's not exactly truly really in a recession, they already feel like it's here, and they feel like at least the economy as it relates to your own household budget, it's already not that great. So take it for what it is. But Jamie Dimon today on CNBC talked about how he anticipates a recession in the next 6 to 9 months. And on that note, let's segue over to another topic. And this one is, of course, coming out of the Biden's Labor Department. Now, freelancers make up a considerable amount of the workforce here in the United States. Especially, we know creatives, we know a lot of people who make videos and creative content. And of course, we can't figure gig workers, such as if you get delivery from Instacart or DoorDash, maybe you take an Uber or Lyft now. A lot of these are gig workers, and gig workers means that they're independent contractors. Well, the Biden Labor Department right now is saying, as of they just released a report today, that they plan to find a way to make these gig workers and have them reclassified as actual employees. As you know, independent contractors are typically paid via the form of a 1099. That's the tax form they receive, and they take that and they file taxes. Now, employees, many of you watching are probably more traditional employees working at companies that offer 401ks and medical benefits and whatnot, and probably working more closer to a 40-hour work week. Well, that would be your traditional W-2 employee. Well, now they're saying that they're going to find ways, proposing new rules for companies that traditionally offer more of that freelancing gig employee type of style employment, that there's going to be ways where they're going to reclassify them as formal employees so they can benefit from more benefits. So I'm curious to see how you feel about that. And certainly, I think that there's certainly a lot of benefits to that, because independent contractors would, of course, enjoy some of these full-time employee benefits. But on the flip side, this also increases some of the overhead costs from employers and businesses, which I would say right now, as we're looking at whether or not the Fed's going to increase interest rates more, if we're going to be able to get inflation to more healthy levels of 2 to 3% from the sky high levels that they currently are, maybe this is great in concept, but maybe something we should wait on and put on the back burner for now, just in case, and just until costs seem to quiet down a little bit. I feel like we need to work on inflation just for right now. And Vicky is saying, I am a creator. Vicky joining us from Facebook Live. And so thank you so much, Vicky, for joining us. Really appreciate your support on this show always. But it'll be interesting to see how this takes place. But let me just say, it just seems like President Biden has been a very, very busy president. So we're having a lot of information, a lot of different decisions and legislation and changes taking place in the United States here. So it's actually interesting to watch. It's lots of fun to watch. Now let's segue into another topic, and this is on the topic of Amazon Prime. We talk about one CEO, we got to talk about Jeff Bezos, right? But as many of you know, there's that big shopping event of the year called Amazon Prime Days. Now, what you may not know, and this actually caught me sort of by surprise, and maybe you weren't surprised, but Amazon has another Prime Day sale this week. And, some of us are calling it Prime Day Part 2, Part 3, but no, they're calling this the Prime Early Access Sale. So this is going to be similar to what you saw for Prime deals last time. You can see a lot of Amazon products being discounted, technology products being discounted. And so a lot of people are creating content of what things they think are a good deal and what things aren't a good deal. And I just want to jump in and tell you the best deal is just not to shop Amazon Prime deals this week. Not only because in most cases, we don't really need more stuff, and the holidays are coming. It's the end of the year, which is traditionally also a very important time to do financial planning and to make sure that your own personal finances are in a good place. If anything, here's what I would say. If you really want to save money and you really want to make a difference as we go through Amazon Prime Week this week, my suggestion would be maybe consider canceling Amazon Prime membership. I know this is like unheard of, right? Because they get you discounted. They give you discounts, they give you faster shipping and a lot of perks and music and all that stuff. But let's be honest. That's actually one of the fastest ways to save money, because Amazon Prime membership is now over $150 a year. So if you were able to do that and perhaps find alternatives to shop locally, maybe do some curbside pickup or shop in store locally, these are ways that you could probably save some money. And I would just say that's how I would say this week. Don't buy anything. Keep your money in your wallet. If you don't, if even if you can afford it, let me just say that we already know that inflation is sky high. We already know the Fed is going to be increasing interest rates aggressively if things don't get better. And one of the ways that things can get better is if we stop spending so much money. Because the more money that we spend right now, it shows that the economy is stronger. It shows that wages are higher. It shows that you have money to shop with, and therefore, inflation isn't going to get much better anytime soon. So, if anything, do it for your wallet, do it for your country. Consider stop. So consider just skipping this Amazon Prime deal. That's what I would say because I've been seeing a lot of content and I just had to share that with you. Now, another reason why you might consider putting some painter's tape around your wallet this Amazon Prime shopping season is because, well, FedEx and UPS and United Postal Service is now doing peak season surcharges on your shipping. So you might say, well, such and such company ships my item for free. Nothing, my friends, is ever quite for free, and therefore it's going to be priced into the purchase that you're going to be making. So maybe a little 50 cents more an item here, maybe $1 more an item. That will start to add up. So as we go into the holiday season, I want you to keep this in mind. We are now in October, which is when peak season shipping surcharges take into effect. Not only that, I just saw a report today that shows that most FedEx customers are expected to pay 5, 6, 7, even possibly 14% more. UPS customers also expected to pay much more, perhaps even double digits, as we go into peak season. Now, you're going to have to check and confirm that data for yourself. This is just a report that I saw from one of the financial write-ups. So you'll have to see whether or not that actually takes effect. I know FedEx, UPS, they have varying in shipping charges, and especially if you ship at a certain volume, that could be less. But it doesn't really matter. The net is that there's going to be peak season surcharges on top of more expensive items that maybe you don't really need. So things to keep in mind this week as we are in Amazon Prime part 2, part 3, whatever it is. So more volatility ahead. And so what can we expect? Now I'm gonna end with this because this is something I'm sort of positive because we've been talking about rocky market, we've been talking about concerns on a recession, and you might be wondering if there's anything in the world that you can actually do. And the good news is there actually is. There's actually quite a bit that you can do. In fact, I've been getting so many phone calls and emails and direct messages saying that I need help, and we've certainly been helping them. But here's one thing for you to consider too. What goes down will come up. In fact, if you take a look at financial history, it shows that when stocks enjoy, or I should say, when not enjoy, but when stocks experience tremendous losses like we've been seeing in the last week and the last few months, although it seems like the market just keeps getting more bearish, history does tell us that when you see dramatic drops like we've seen recently, there's also can be very quickly an improvement in the financial markets. In fact, there was a tweet that came from Charles Schwab's chief investment strategist, Liz Ann Saunders, that showed that data going back to 1960, that the S&P 500 was actually notably higher 6 months later, out of 11 out of the 14 times following when the S&P 500, um, this is good news, right? So when the market drops tremendously, there's certainly hope. We've seen that time and time again. So stay positive, stay strong, and of course, if you're able to continue to make progress, continue to save towards those important financial goals like your retirement. And if you have kids, for their college education, things that are going to be investments in yourself. Make sure that you put aside some money for yourself, okay? So if you need another reason for skipping shopping this weekend, there you go. But hopefully that's helpful. We're gonna have more information for you in the coming days. And tomorrow we're gonna have a really special show with In the Loop from my dear friend Greg Nibbler. We're going to be talking about more tech and sort of business trends. So I hope you'll join us once again. But remember, really important, it's always important to stay true to this and remember that it's not just about investing, and it's not just about making changes and tweaking things along the way. And it's certainly not about timing the market, but it's most importantly to have time in the market. Make sure you're participating, make sure that you're saving, and don't be left behind, because at some point, I'm going to want to see you retire. Hopefully, early retirement, and hopefully it's on your terms. With that, I hope that you have an incredible day. We have a very busy week. We have lots of shows scheduled this week. So thank you so much, my friends, for watching, supporting our program. And if you can, take a moment to share our show on social media and tag me at Winnie Sun so I can probably thank you on a future show. And as a reminder, you can find full episodes of Level Up on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And don't forget to check out Yes Factor with Winnie Sun on Apple Podcasts as well. Take a moment to like and subscribe so you'll make sure to receive every single new live stream and future uploads as they become available. And with that, be well, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Take care now.